I thank you for stopping by once again to my YouTube channel and for watching videos. If you feel like subscribing, go for it. And it's just exciting to be looking at new technology like this and seeing where things are at now and how much more they're going to advance in the future. I look forward to talking to you again soon. I want to thank you for stopping by today to check out my newest video. It's about OpenUI, which is a GitHub repository that writes code for us as developers. And I know there's a lot of questions going around about being replaced by AI as far as being a developer. And I think tools like this actually help developers. This one is in an early stage, but it is still pretty advanced. And I think it's really fun using it. It's interactive. It allows you to convert between different formats like HTML or React or Vue and some other formats. And it does write all this code for you. And then it's interactive where you can click on different elements in the page and have it regenerate. You just type in a text prompt. And there's some different configurations that you can do with it. And I'll be taking a look at all of those things in the video. I also show how to install it on a Windows 11 machine. And I encounter one or two little problems that I briefly show in the video also. Well, I hope you enjoy this and I hope you learn something from it, and I'll talk to you soon. Alright, so here I'm on the GitHub page for OpenUI, and if I scroll down just a little bit, we'll see some instructions here, which is what I'm going to follow along with. Running locally, here are some commands. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a command prompt and we'll go ahead and get started. So there I have the git clone command. Alright, we ran that. Now let's go ahead and go into the OpenUI backend. And then we'll run the pip install. You may encounter an error like this if you're running this on Windows. So let's take a look into that. I went ahead and fed in the -- user command, so let's see if it's happier with that. So I see it's complaining about this path, so I will go ahead and add that into my environment and be right back. Otherwise, so far it did finish. I went ahead and typed the path command just to see what it is, so let's go ahead and take a look and compare them. I just went ahead and went onto my start menu and typed in env, and then I told it to go ahead and open up this environment variables system properties, so we can open that up, and I will go ahead and add it in here. There I added or clicked on new and then added this new environment variable, so I'll click OK, and then I'll click OK again, and I'll click OK there. I opened a new command prompt window and just did the path command again, and we can see here it is now in my environment. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. Here are the contents of the backend directory now after running those commands, and now it looks like it wants me to export my OpenAI key, so I'm going to go ahead and do that off screen. I did want to mention right here, there's actually a note that says you can also run OpenUI locally and use models available to Ollama. Install Ollama and pull a model like CodeLlama. And of course you have to have Git and Python installed already, which I had done that previously. But I'm going to go ahead and just put in my OpenAI key and proceed. And one other thing, if you're using Windows 11, which is what I'm using in this video, you need to use the word set instead of export. So right here where it says export, I just type in set, and then that sets the proper variable for you in Windows 11. Okay, so I went ahead and ran the command here, Python -m OpenUI, and let's take a look at what it did. So here we can see in my command line window, it shows it started the OpenUI AI server created by WNB, and we'll take a look at their website briefly. It's running the API server, and it started the server process, and then it shows a URL. So I will go ahead and access that next. All right, so I went ahead and put that in the web browser, and here we can see what the user interface looks like. So up in the browser there, you can see the URL, and now we can go ahead and start using it and watching and seeing what it does and how we can use it to make code and change it into different kinds of code and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started and look at some of the features of this user interface. First of all, we have this settings icon, so let's click on that. Here we can see that it allows me to use GPT 3.5 Turbo or 4. I'm just going to go ahead and use 3.5 Turbo, and I haven't done anything with the Ollama models, but I may do that either at the end of this video or in another video. And then we see our system prompt here. You're a front-end web developer that specializes in Tailwind CSS. Given a description or an image, generate HTML with Tailwind CSS. And I do like Tailwind CSS. You should support both dark and light mode. It should render nicely on desktop, tablet, and mobile. Keep your responses concise and just return the HTML that would appear in the body. No need for head. Use placehold.co for the placeholder images. If the user asks for interactivity, use modern ES6 JavaScript and native browser APIs to handle events. And then we have the temperature that we can adjust. But I'm just going to go ahead and leave the settings at that. And then we have some icons here. We can toggle the desktop view or the tablet view or toggle the mobile view. And we will look at that after we get some content going here. And then, of course, we can toggle between light and dark mode and then look at our chat history. Copy. And then at the bottom here we have the text prompt, and we can also hide the panel if we want to have more full screen available to us. And then right in the center it tells us drag a screenshot of a UI or click me to upload one. You can also just explain what you want in the text below. So I may go ahead and draw a basic UI interface and have it look at that and then create some code. I think that would be pretty interesting. But let's go ahead and just do the simple part right now, and I'll click one of their pre-generated responses here. So let's go ahead and click that and then let it start working. So there's some output. I clicked the little icon here to go ahead and download it, and then I opened it up so I can see what's in there. So that's basically what it generated. So let's keep going. I asked it to add some more data. So there's some more rows of data. And here I'm going to click on this little plus icon and convert it. So let's go ahead and convert it into React code. And it's going and doing that for us now. There is another little icon. It's kind of hard to see. It's right here. I can click that to go ahead and hide that text prompt. I'll go ahead and click on the view chat history. So here we can see generate a responsive table with sortable columns, row highlights on hover, and pagination. And then when I asked it to add more data to it. If I move my mouse over this icon here, it says comment on the elements in the HTML. And then it asks me, how do I want to change this? Let's say we want to say full name instead of just name, and then I'll go ahead and submit that. And we can see now it went ahead and made the changes. We can go ahead and click these other icons up here to switch in between the different modes or views. So mobile view, tablet, and basically full screen. I have noticed sometimes when I move between this HTML and React, it doesn't always update. Most of the time it does, but I have noticed that. I went ahead and clicked the download, or copy rather, and opened it up here in a notepad file to see what it generated. And I clicked the plus sign and changed it to view. And so here we can see the view code that it wrote. I find this really interesting and helpful for generating UI content. And I will make some other videos. I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough and show how to get it set up and how the basics of the tool works. I did want to mention the other icons here. So if you want to create a new one, you can just click this button here. Or if you want to go to their GitHub page, you just click that little GitHub icon and it takes you over here. And as far as what I did on this machine, I downloaded and installed the Node.js, and I let it install all of the other programs that it can. There's a little checkbox that you can check. It installs some other tools on here, including Python. So I let it do that. And also this is just the OpenAI page where you have to log in and get your API key. The Git download, I downloaded Git for Windows so I could just do the command line clone. And it pops up the help page after you do that. And this is a little about the company that looks to be behind this open source project. Weights and biases. Pretty interesting company. Their mission is to build the best tools for machine learning. Their co-founders built Figure 8, and their tools are being used by cutting-edge machine learning teams, including OpenAI, NVIDIA, and others. So here you can see some of the platform specifics, their solutions, enterprise tools, resources, information about the company, and pricing. They do have a personal free plan if you're interested in signing up. So I did want to mention that. And then I'm just back at the GitHub page where we started. So basically you have a few handfuls of commands to run. And I will open up the source code directory here just for a moment so we can see what's in there. There's actually quite a lot. Now they do mention other ways to run this, like using Docker Compose. Alright, so I typed in a new prompt here. Make a colorful blue theme website with a navigation bar at the top, a hero section at the top of the page, a product section with text to fill up 6 cards, a services section with 3 services listed, a contact us form, and a footer with company information. Let's also say here, well, we'll just go ahead and let it generate this, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so there is our navigation bar. Let's go ahead and shrink it down a little bit. There is a picture of a product. There's our services. There's a contact form and a footer. So while it may not be totally amazing, it did what I asked it, and then you can get into customizing it in many different ways. You can customize each individual part by using this here, or you can just go in and ask it for different changes to different parts of the UI. And of course, then you can change it to other types of components, which I think is really cool and can save a ton of time generating your ideas, maybe for wireframes or for new software that you're working on, or to redo older software using newer technology, and to be able to convert it between these different formats. And I have a feeling there will be other ones also supported. They're starting with this list here. So all in all, I think it's a really amazing tool, and I wanted to again just walk through showing you how to set it up and the basics of using it on a Windows 11 computer. One last thing here is just them with their little video on their GitHub page showing how they're putting in different prompts and changing things around, make them a flashy landing page. And now they're making some changes by typing over an area. So just another little example there of how it's working. I appreciate you stopping by today to check out this video. I've been kind of busy lately. I wasn't able to make a new video until now, but I think this is a really cool piece of technology and I really like where this is going. So I wanted to showcase it today in this video. I've pulled up the web page here from GitHub. It's WNB OpenUI, and if we look here, this is their weights and biases. They actually have other products and services that they offer in the machine learning and AI space. So here we can see what it's about. OpenUI lets you describe your UI using your imagination and then see it rendered live. I think this is really cool. And actually in another video that I'll be making, there's another tool from Vercel that I'll be looking at. And so here we have the code. We can see it already has 3.8K stars, and some changes have just been made a few days ago. They go on to say here, building UI components can be a slog. OpenUI aims to make the process fun, fast, and flexible. It's also a tool that they're using at WNB, which is the company I showed there, to test and prototype their next generation tooling for building powerful applications on top of LLMs. OpenUI lets you describe the UI using your imagination, then see it rendered live. You can ask for changes, convert to HTML, React, Svelte, web components, etc. It's like V0, but open source and not as polished yet. They do have a live demo that you can run. The last thing I wanted to do is to take a look at the code that we have here. So you can see there is a lot of folders, a lot of code. So a lot of effort has been put into this. And we have a back end and a front end. So there is the back end. If we go into the front end and we'll go to source, you can see we have an API folder. We have a components folder, a UI folder. And lots of nice clean code. Then we have hooks, a library folder, mocks, pages/AI, and state. Some CSS. So there you go. There's a quick overview of the code that is in this repo. I thank you for stopping by once again to my YouTube channel and for watching videos. If you feel like subscribing, go for it. And it's just exciting to be looking at new technology like this and seeing where things are at now and how much more they're going to advance in the future. I look forward to talking to you again soon. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new content.